Hi! So on my channel I talk a lot about sustainability and how you can make better choices of things you do, your habits, things you buy. I believe that if you become aware of something that you can do that is a step in the right direction, better than what you were doing before, that if you're able to, you should do it. And this applies to consumption and purchasing things. Whether or not you agree with no ethical consumption under capitalism, you have to agree that we all need to consume things. And it's not realistic to suggest that you can live independently and provide everything you need for yourself without purchasing from any other companies or any other brands. I think one step that we can all do to improve our purchasing habits is to purchase less, anti-consumption. Don't buy things that you don't need. And I think I'm pretty good in this department. I've certainly gotten way better over the years. And overall, I'm not much of a shopper, and this is a way to make a positive impact. Don't buy things you don't need, but there are some things that we all do need, such as food, water, shelter, clothing. And I want to talk about some brands that I personally don't buy from, and I think that more people should boycott them. I just think it's the best option. If you know a brand is exploiting, it's taking advantage of people, it's treating their workers basically like slaves, if it's monopolizing an industry, if it's just very unethical in multiple ways. You know the brands that I'm probably going to mention already. Just stop buying from them and switch to buying from different brands. Maybe those different brands aren't perfect and they have their flaws as well, but at least they're better than Amazon. I have to talk about Amazon first in this video because I just think it would be better for the collective world to get rid of this company. The list of the things Amazon has done that are just flat out wrong is a mile long. Certainly monopolizing. Amazon has been known multiple times to basically start producing the same exact item as another company and sell it at a lower price so they can put the smaller brand out of business and basically become that brand and add it to their greater portfolio, or just buying the brand outright, completely taking the competition off the map and acquiring more and more brands to become the one provider, the one-stop shop that everyone will go to. And unfortunately, they've been very successful. This is killing small businesses and in turn killing competition. I just feel like they've been able to just get their claws into the consumeristic mindset of so many people who order Amazon packages like every single week. I just really wish people would be more mindful and not just purchase from Amazon every time they think they need something and they probably don't even need it in the first place. But if you do, God, there's so many places that you could buy it from. Amazon is not the one-stop shop. I've never been able to think of something that I needed or even wanted to buy and been like, oh, Amazon's the only place I can get it. I've never encountered that. Also, Amazon is a terrible polluter, contributing to lots of environmental damage just by their sheer size. This is the case for a lot of the brands and companies that I have an issue with. But also, they are known for treating their workers very poorly. The turnover rate at Amazon is just churn and burn. Work the people till they're completely burnt out and then hire more. And they take advantage of low-income communities and people who are desperate for work and give them good pay, I will admit. However, is it really worth getting a living wage if when you are at work you're being treated like you're less than human? If you hate your life at work, it's so hard to enjoy your life. I really don't want to support their business at all, so I will be boycotting Amazon for the foreseeable future, maybe forever. Amazon sells a lot of products, but I feel like the majority of what is sold at Amazon is like unnecessary stuff. It really is just stuff to me. But something that I do purchase and consume on a regular basis is food, obviously. And I don't think most people get their food from Amazon. They do have food to be delivered, but I think most people are buying it from a store. And if possible, if you have the means to, I would really recommend looking into the different grocery stores and places that sell food near you and just look into the companies. I've been really trying to shop more at my local co-op. It is more expensive, unfortunately, than like a bigger grocery chain near me. So if it's not feasible for a lot of people, I understand that. But like I said, if you have the means to make a change to a more ethical brand, then I think you should. This is also a great place to plug in farmers markets if you have those near you. Everybody has to buy food. Farmers markets are a great place to kind of even skip the middleman completely. You're going straight to the farm and buying the produce right from those people. Speaking of food though, to talk about some food brands. There are a couple of brands that I wanted to call out in particular that I do not support. The first one being CocaCola. They're in the top 3, I'm pretty sure, of worst polluting brands, excluding oil companies, which are truly all terrible. But when it comes to top polluting companies, Coca-Cola is way up at the top of the list. When it comes to plastic pollution in particular, they produce so much plastic. And when I first became aware of this and started to look into it a little more, I was like, maybe I could just stop purchasing from Coca-Cola. Obviously, I don't drink soda, which is what everyone thinks of when they think of Coke, but I knew that they probably owned many, many brands, so I was a little worried that maybe I was buying from them from brands that they owned that I didn't even know about. But when I looked into it, I pretty much realized it's not as hard as you think to stop purchasing Coca-Cola products, because a giant majority of the brands that they own are beverages. They just own a ton of beverage companies. Soda, of course, being the big one. But I had to look through their brands and they own like a bunch of coffee, tea, juices, and if you just drink water, it's pretty easy to just cut out buying Coke products. Another terrible food brand that is a major plastic polluter but also is in violation of many human rights issues is Nestle. I feel like this is slightly more known than some other brands. They really have taken advantage of what should be a guaranteed resource, which is water. They clearly intend to make it so that you need to have enough money to have water. And that's really sad to me because I feel like water should be guaranteed for every human, considering we need it to survive. But they've packaged it and sell it at a profit. So some people can have water and some people can't. And in case you haven't heard of the horrors of what Nestle has done in Africa to take advantage of pregnant women with formula, and there's a whole story behind what they've done, but it was pretty evil. So don't purchase from Nestle. I personally don't, and I had a look at their brands that Nestle owns, and I found it pretty easy to boycott Nestle products because I have gone vegan, and I've been vegan for a couple years now. But if you don't purchase any products that have animal products in them, you're probably gonna have a really easy time boycotting Nestle because a lot of the brands that they own are like snack type brands that are not vegan friendly at all. Another company that I wanted to talk about I'm sorry this video is a little bit all over the place, but I feel like I'm getting really passionate about these terrible brands that I wish would just drop off the face of the earth. Another one, kind of in the same boat as Amazon, is Walmart. I think Walmart is the largest employer in the US, so a lot of people will suggest that Walmart is a good company because they employ a lot of people. But if you employ a lot of people badly, I wouldn't say you're a good company. Just because you're giving them a job, what if it's a shitty job? You're not in the right there. And Walmart is a shitty job, and they do treat their workers badly. There have been multiple instances of this, taking advantage of people. Walmart certainly is not paying a living wage in many areas of the country. The Walton family has so much wealth. It's unreal. No family needs that amount. They'll never be able to spend it in their lifetime or their kids' lifetime or their grandkids' lifetime. It's already gone down that line because Walmart is a very old brand and it's owned by this one family. So I don't buy from Walmart. Walmart to me is just like another chain store that sells a lot of generic things that I can probably find from other stores, slightly more expensive, but at least I know that my money isn't supporting a company that I know is just not ethical. The last kind of area I wanted to talk about is clothing. This is a difficult area for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people, because we do all need clothes. Clothes are a requirement, something that you have to purchase sometimes. But most of us have enough clothes, like currently. When you buy a new piece of clothing, it's not because you need it, it's because you want it. And I definitely struggle with this. I've certainly gotten way better over the past few years, but if you're able to completely cut out clothing shopping and only purchase like replacements when you need new socks or your shirt has a permanent stain or a hole in it and you need to replace it, I think that's probably the best way forward when it comes to consumption of clothes. However, when buying those clothes, even if you're doing it from a place that you don't necessarily need it and you just want it, at least stop buying from this horrible rise of a couple of brands that have become very popular in recent years. I'm thinking of, in particular, Shein and Zaful. I am so sad to say that I've purchased from Zaful in the past before I really knew to look into these kinds of things. I have a couple items from them, and it's not really worth me throwing them away at this point because that would just be a waste, so I do continue to wear them. And that's the same for other fast fashion brands that I own, like Forever 21, H&M. I have a lot of those items in my closet that are over 5 years old at this point. I don't support fast fashion brands anymore. The only reason that I would buy an H&M or Forever 21 or any other fast fashion type of clothing would be if it is thrifted and giving it a second life, getting it from a secondhand shop. However, for purchasing clothing, I have made a list of different brands that are better for the environment, better for working people, and I have talked about these in multiple videos of mine, a couple of recommendations of better brands to choose when you are purchasing clothes. There's a really good documentary, The True Cost, about fast fashion and how harmful it is to the environment because clothing is not really biodegradable, at least most clothing, and also how it is exploiting particularly women in Southeast Asia, but all over the world as well. Those companies like Shein and Zaful are particularly bad. In general, if you come across a clothing brand where the shirts are like $3 to $5 and it seems too good to be true, that's because it is. And someone out there is suffering immensely for that low price. And that's just not worth it to me. So those are a couple of other brands that I do not support and I think would do well to be boycotted. So those are all of the brands and companies I wanted to talk about today when it comes to ethical purchasing and some switches that I think are worthwhile to make. Let me know if there are any brands that you have boycotted, and thanks for watching.